أؤمن بإله واحد آب ضابط الكل خالق السماء والأرض كل ما يرى وما لا يرى وبرب واحد يسوع المسيح ابن الله الوحيد المولود من الآب قبل كل الدهور.
But he says such a thing. Don't mute him, guys. Who muted him? Are you there?
He's not muted. He's trying to find an excuse to leave.
He left?
No, he's still here. He's just not talking because
Is he the guy? His name is Sigma?
Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. Sigma, go ahead. Read for us the verse, please.
Okay. First of all, you still haven't responded to me. We still haven't responded. What's the difference between mitliha or mitla? But anyway, you're just trying to grasp at straws and do red herrings, but that's fine.
Red herring. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm gonna read the verse again, but no problem. So we say ما ننسخ من آية أو ننسيها نأتي بخير منها أو مثلها ألم تعلم أن الله على كل شيء قدير. So here it says that a verse is better than the other. This is because we have verses which are more suitable for a certain point in time compared to other verses, which is why we have verses being abrogated by other verses. We don't say that one verse is better than the other verse in the sense that it's more eloquent or that its contents are just objectively better. No, they're only better in the context of a certain time. They're suitable for a certain time, and that makes them better than the other in relation to the time that they were revealed, and not that one is more eloquent than the other.
Are you done?
There you go.
Are you done? Okay.
Yes, I'm done.
Is it true that this is about a verse Muhammad he gave at afternoon, and then he abrogated the verse in the morning?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question again?
Is this verse is about a verse Muhammad he gave afternoon, and then he abrogated the verse second day?
Yeah, what's the issue? I literally just said that some verses
you
are
just
better,
said certain time. You just said, guys, he just said this is not about this is bad and this is good.
Yeah,
this is about but he just went to sleep. He woke up in the morning, second day. Second day, there's a new verse abrogating the previous verse. Okay, do Allah knew the future? Why Allah he give you a verse is not valid? Even for 8 hours. For 8 hours only is not good. So the Arab they start making fun.
No.
Listen.
You can't say that God does not know the future. Okay. When you say God does not know the future,
okay.
This presupposes that there is a concept of future for God.
Isn't the Arab they were questioning what kind of a prophet? His God, he gave me a verse at night. He wake up in the morning. He gave him abrogation. He canceled it.
Yeah, this is still a verse being better than the other in relation of time. What's the issue?
You see, okay, in relation to time, it's just 8 hours.
Yeah, so it's still time.
What happened in 8 hours? What happened in 8 hours?
Bro, my argument still stands.
No. Allah, he says that better. He did not say relative. He did not say better argument. He did not say. He says we will make better or look. And not only that, he said. Do you see the word similar?
Yeah, I didn't say that they're similar. Where did I say that they're similar? One is better than the other in relation of time. And
so
obviously
if the verse is similar, so why I'm deleted the first one?
No, I did not say they're similar. You're not listening to what I said. I did not say they're similar.
It's not you. The Quran says so.
Where does it say that all verses are similar? Please show me.
No, I did not say all verses. It says Allah will make better or similar. So he will make similar. So why he want to delete the first one? If the first one is going to be similar, the second one, there's no different.
Hold on. No, it says first of all, hold on. First of all, I already told you that verses are better than one another in relation of time. And when we say something is similar, when we say that a verse is similar to the other, there is no issue with this either.
So why you are abrogating the verse? Okay, if they are similar, why you abrogate the verse?
No, they're not being abrogated.
No, it says that whatever verse we abrogated or caused to be forgotten, we bring a better or similar. He bring to replace. So don't tell me it doesn't say that.
So basically you have a verse that's taken out and replaced by something that's similar. No problem here.
So what happened? What changed? If I say shish kebab and then I make a verse, I say forget about shish kebab.
Don't say.
And then I
this
say,
is a loaded question.
and then I say forget about shish kebab and shish kebab. Say this shish kebab and shish kebab. So what the difference?
Yeah, I don't see any issue with this. What's the logical contradiction in this?
You just said to me he will make a verse relatively better, but here there's no point.
Yeah,
it's similar.
Yeah. So some verses are better than the other in relation of the time they were revealed.
But it's the same thing.
And then you have
the guy, he go to sleep, he woke up in the morning. I will tell you what happened. You see, do you see the word forgetting?
Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 5
You're
minutes.
a prophet, he forget the Quran. That's the whole story.
Yeah,
people make fun of him.
He was caused to forget by God. He
Thank you. Guys, did you hear it? Allah, he made Muhammad forget the Quran. Why?
Yeah, because that's hikmah from God.
This is wisdom.
Yes.
But the Muslim, I thought the Muslim, they say we recite the Quran by heart. So Muhammad, he forgot the Quran. What about the Muslims?
Yeah, so the Quran that was relayed over to us is the complete one that was already abrogated. Everything that needed to be abrogated was already abrogated.
So Allah, he caused the Muslim. So Allah, he caused the Muslim too. All of them forget the same verses.
No, not all of them. Not all of them. Only the Prophet. He was caused to forget verses that needed to be forgotten.
No, it says here we'll give you better, because if you still have it, there's no need to give you better or similar. If you don't have it no more, it's gone.
What? How does that logically follow?
Listen, it says in any verse we abrogate or cause to forget, we bring better or similar. So now if you have it, why he want to give you the same verse again, similar?
Yeah, he's not giving it to us, he's giving it to the Prophet. This is this speaks about
who care the Prophet, he give it to him, who care? But Allah, he caused you to forget the verse. And then he will bring you, and then no, because if he calls the Prophet only, there is no need to bring similar. You Muslims still remember it. Okay, give me the verse of a breastfeeding for adult.
The breastfeeding of adults, it was abrogated.
Give me the verse.
Yeah, it was abrogated.
Give me the verse.
What do you mean, give me the verse? It doesn't
exist. You are telling me abrogated. Okay, hold on. Guys, it's abrogated. There is no verse in the Quran that says that this is abrogated.
There's two types of abrogations. There's abrogations of the ruling and the abrogation of the textual.
You see,
verse,
when you say there's abrogation here and there, you have to give me a statement where it says this verse is abrogated. Can you show me?
Allah, we have hadith. We have hadith that say that this verse was abrogated, of course.
Abrogated by 5, the hadith says.
What did you say?
Abrogated by 5.
What do you mean abrogated by 5?
By 5 breastfeeding.
By 5 breastfeeds. Okay, I don't really see an issue.
But we don't have 5 breastfeeding. So now we have 5.
No. Hold on. One of them was abrogated in the ruling, and then we had both of them abrogated in the textual, like
look
the
at this. Everything is abrogated in this religion. So Allah caused the Muslim to forget. So now are you saying to me Allah caused you to forget the verses about breastfeeding for adult, which is the reason for me to become a Muslim? Because I love a breastfeeding adult, feeding for adult. What do you mean? What do you mean by Allah? He caused you to forget the breastfeeding for adult. Where do you get this from?
First of all, he caused the Prophet to forget, not me.
Secondly, no. He caused you to. Otherwise, recite the verse for me. He caused you to recite or forget the verse. Give me the verse.
No, he didn't cause me to forget. He didn't cause.
Then give me the verse. Then give me the verse. Read it for me.
Yeah, you want me to read you the verse again?
About the breastfeeding for adult.
Yeah, I told you that was abrogated.
You see, you keep saying to me, he make it the Prophet forget it, not me. That means you know it. Okay, tell me the verse. What is the verse of a breastfeeding for adult?
Yeah, it was abrogated. The text
you keep saying the same thing. I'm saying to you, okay, it's abrogated, but you said you did not forget it. Allah, he caused Muhammad to forget it. So now you know that you did not forget.
Listen, when God causes the Prophet to forget a verse, it's not relayed over to us. If it's abrogated, then it's not relayed over to us. The only thing that's relayed over to us is the narration.
The Muslim, they knew about. No, listen. The Muslim, all of them, they knew the verse. Aisha, she used to command her sisters to do breastfeeding for anyone want to enter upon her. So this is the verse very well known between Muslims, and they practice it. And
so the ruling, adult breastfeeding still exists within our religion, but that doesn't mean that it has to be in our book.
What is the verse? What do you mean doesn't have to? So isn't it the Quran says nobody can change the word of Allah?
No, it was Allah himself who changed the word of Allah, not someone else.
Show me the evidence that Allah, he chose this verse to be changed.
Yeah, so it's mentioned in narrations.
Where? No, what narration? Even your prophet, he never said that, because Muhammad died and the Muslims still practicing this.
Yeah, we don't only take from the Prophet, we also take
Listen,
from the
no, give me where it says this verse is abrogated. This is false, because there is no verse of abrogation and there's no hadith about this is abrogated. The Prophet never says so. You are making things up. It's challenged in front of everybody. Can you show me the hadith? It says that the Prophet, he abrogated this verse and he said the following.
Why you're trying to force us into having the Prophet specifically say that it was abrogated?
Because, so who is the one who abrogated religion? You Muslims?
No, we also take the rulings from the companions.
Exactly. So you Muslims, guys, did you see what he said? They take the ruling of religion from the companion. So the Prophet never said so. Because the companion,
not necessarily.
The companion, in order to make a ruling, they should say what the Prophet said. It's not up to you. If Allah sent the verse, this is a command from God. Who is the companion? You Muslim, you follow Muhammad or the companion of Muhammad?
Yeah, we also take from the companions because he said to take from the
Thank you very much, guys.
So
did you hear? They took also from the companions. So Muhammad is not the source no more. Allah is not the source no more. But look what the Quran says. The Quran says that the Christian and the Jews, they took their monks and their rabbi as gods. If you read the interpretation for this, you will see because they are following the command of the men, not God. So you Muslims are kuffar according to chapter 9, verse number 31. The Christian and the Jews, read it carefully. They took their rabbis and their monks as
what
gods.
does that prove exactly?
Prove the following, that the one who took the companion, the monks, the rabbi as gods instead.
Okay, were the rabbis given authority by freaking Moses or Jesus to have rulings taken from them?
We do not take ruling from them. We take ruling from God. But now it's you who said, everybody heard you. You abrogated the Quran. Listen, it is you who said you abrogated the Quran by a statement of a companion, not of Muhammad, neither Allah.
There is no issue with such thing. We can take the abrogation ruling from
No, you just say it. You just said that. Everybody heard you.
Yeah. I just said that there is no issue.
So what do you mean no issue? So you take your religion from a rabbi?
No, it's not a rabbi. It's
okay.
Muhammad's
Allah,
companion, and he
what do you
gave
mean
him authority.
What do you mean no rabbi? If Allah, he said, you do breastfeeding for adult, and you said to me, this is still valid, and then you said to me, this verse is abrogated by 5 times. Can you show me? Because in order to be abrogated by 5 times, then we should have a verse of 5 times breastfeeding for adult.
Not necessarily. Please show me how
this. So how you know about it? So where do you get this from? Where do you get this from?
Okay, tell me how
the companion, they come to the conclusion that this is abrogated by 5 times breastfeeding. If you don't have a verse,
you made the claim. Do
you have a verse of 5 times breastfeeding adult abrogating the previous verse?
You made the claim. You made the claim that just because it was abrogated, this means that the actual text has to be in the Quran itself and not just in the narrations or have.
Okay, so now the Muslims. I did not make a claim. It's you who said so. You said. I took the companion said, but the companion for them, are they prophet of God, or they are people who they are just?
The companions were given authority to give rulings from the Prophet himself.
The companion of Muhammad, they never been given authority, and you are lying. Can you show me the authority of the companion?
No.
Can you show me the authority? Who is the one who gave him actually, the companion of Muhammad are a bunch of thieves, and they accuse your prophet that he stole an underwear. How those people they can? Yeah. How those people they can be the one who can make abrogation?
The narration where it says that he stole an underwear, where they accuse him that he stole.
Isn't it your prophet? Isn't it your prophet was accused by the companions, not the enemy, not the kuffar, in chapter 3, verse 161, that they accused Muhammad that he took a piece of clothing, red piece of clothing.
Okay, let me read the verse. Hold on.
So those are the companions. They can change religion and they can change ruling It's not Allah, it's not Muhammad, it's the companion. And those are the same one, they are fighting with their prophet about a piece of clothing.
CP, here's let's go over the claims that you made that weren't substantiated. You made the claim that there is a difference between مثلها and مثلها.
No, you see, he go back to zero now. He go back, he's stuck with because he's trying to save his, he's trying to save his embarrassment. The prophet. Listen, why you are going back zero? We jump over that 10th century ago, and now let's see CP go to Mislah, trying to save himself. Do you need water? Do you need water? Do you need the fire distinguish? I will give it to you. Now read this verse for me. Read the verse for me, accusing your prophet of stealing a panty. You're a prophet accused by the companion, the one you said they can change rules. You are not following God. Everybody heard you. Muslims don't follow God. They follow companion of a companion of a companion. They don't know what Muhammad said. Now read. The prophet, he stole a laundry of a Jew.
Okay, we're gonna read the verse.
Or a kafir, the kuffar of Quraysh.
Can you just let me talk for a second? Okay, second claim that you made is that just because we have the verse being abrogated, this means that the textual verse.
You said to me, we spoke about this. Don't repeat yourself. There's no point to repeat yourself. Everybody heard you.
So you don't want me to call you
everybody heard you. You don't have any reference from your prophet. You don't have a single reference from your prophet. You don't have a single reference from Quran. So you have zero. So Muslims are fabricating things. Not to forget to mention that what kind of God he commanded women to give her breast to a stranger. I mean, this is alone is a story.
Making claims without substantiating them, correct? You're just going to keep making claims without providing proof for them.
Correct? I am the one who made the claim without proof. It's you who made the claim without proof. I asked you, okay, you said Allah will give you similar. And you said Allah did not cause us to forget the Quran. I said, okay, recite for me. I said, okay, he caused the prophet, but the prophet, he told those verses to every Muslim. I said to you, recite for me.
What?
He told the verses. Yes.
Verses to the angel who then told the prophet. He did not tell it to every individual Muslim.
Isn't it Aisha, she said that when the prophet died, the verses of stoning to death and breastfeeding for adult was under the bed of the prophet. And then a time sheep, a goat, came and ate it. So
they were already abrogated, so it doesn't matter.
What do you mean it's abrogated? No, it's not. And this Muhammad is dead. The verse is abrogated after Muhammad is dead. Listen. Guys, look at this. Look at this. The verse is still in the Quran. The goat ate it. You said to me it's abrogated by recitation. It's not no more, and you cannot even recite it.
Yes,
and you said everybody heard you. You said lying to me. You said Allah, he caused Muhammad to forget it, not us. But now, as you see, this is the Quran of Muhammad. Read the hadith. Read the hadith. The verse of stoning and breastfeeding for adult 10 times was revealed, and the paper was with me under my pillow. When the messenger of Allah died, we were preoccupied with his death, and a time sheep came and ate it. So let me tell you what happened, my friend. It is not Allah who caused you to forget the Quran. It is the goat who ate every single Muslim memory.
The problem here is that the verse of stoning was already abrogated through recitation.
So why is in the Quran? So why it is in the Quran of Muhammad? This is Muhammad himself. This is the house of Muhammad. Muhammad is dead now.
It was already abrogated through recitation.
Prove
it doesn't matter.
Prove it. No. It's not abrogated because it's there. If it's abrogated, so are you okay? Are you saying to me that Muhammad, he kept a verse in the Quran and you do not need to read it? So when you arrive there, you skip it? You jump like boing, boing, boing? So it's there in the Quran.
It's already abrogated through recitation. Here's the false equivalence that you're making.
Listen. You are saying it is abrogated by recitation. But that means when you start reading the Quran, the second you arrive to breastfeeding for adult, you have to jump it because you are not allowed to recite it no more. This is what you said to me, abrogated by recitation.
Okay, can you let me speak? Can you let me speak now?
Go ahead.
Okay, here's the false equivalence that you're making. You're saying that because it was abrogated through recitation, this means that it should have been removed up to the point of when the goat ate it. It should not be in any parchment or any paper. Now, you need to prove to me this equivalence, that just because it was abrogated through recitation, this means that it should have been, that the paper containing the verse should have been shredded or burned. Now, prove to me this equivalence, and then you can make this claim.
Look, guys, what he's asking me. He's asking me to prove to him what he should prove to me. You need to prove
What?
to me.
You're
You need to
making
prove.
the equivalent
I have a
where you're
proof.
supposed to
I
prove
have
it.
a proof from your books that the verse is still
guy.
the verse is still in the book. The verse is still in your book, your prophet book, not even Aisha book. This is Muhammad book. So the verse is still there. Muhammad never mentioned the word abrogated.
Hold on. Let me drink some water here. Let me drink some water.
Drink, okay. Camel urine is better. It's more healthy. Be careful, it have to be hot and fresh.
Okay, are you gonna prove to me the equivalence?
What equivalent? What? Listen, look what this guy is talking about. He's trying to change the topic. Listen, the verse, the verse. Okay, was the verse in the book of Muhammad when he died? Yes or no?
Yes, but that doesn't mean that it was not abrogated.
So how you are saying to me abrogated by recitation? So why he wrote it down?
It was already abrogated through recitation.
Then give me where Muhammad he said, okay, it's already abrogated before Muhammad died or after Muhammad died.
It was abrogated before the Prophet
Thank
died.
you. Then show me where Muhammad said this verse is abrogated.
Why does it have to be specifically the Prophet?
So how you know it's abrogated?
Because we also, if a companion says that it has been abrogated, then we
What do
say
you mean
that
the companion said? The companion are not the prophet. And who is the companion who said this verse is abrogated? Who is he?
Okay, hold on. I'm going to bring you the proof that it was actually abrogated.
I have it in the screen in front of me. It says these verses were abrogated in recitation, but not in ruling. Other hadith.
Yeah, exactly.
But this is a commentary. This is a commentary. This is not a hadith.
Okay, 1 second. I'm going to bring you the proof.
I like your God, by the way. I mean, breastfeeding is the best thing ever for adult.
I mean, God said it's allowed, so I'm not sure what's your argument.
So do you like if you're? I'm trying to insult you. So if your neighbor, you see your neighbor looking at your wife, then are you going to say to him, "Hey, guy, come on, do breastfeeding with my wife, so you can come over"? What kind of religion this religion is?
Yeah, God told us that that's allowed, so.
So how come Muslim women, they wear hijab, but they don't have a problem to give their boobs to a stranger? How this is allowed?
Yeah, that's allowed because, for example, wearing silk is not allowed. But if someone has a skin disease, they can wear silk.
What does have to do with wearing silk? I'm talking about my neighbor sucking my wife boobs, man. I'm talking about my wife. I'm talking about my wife. What analogy? I'm talking about a woman. She is your wife, and you come home. You come home. Listen, Muhammad, once he came home, he found Aisha, and she have a guy in her house sleeping over. He said to her, "Who is this guy?" He was so upset.
It's a concession, not a contradiction. So, because we have the benefit that the person coming over who is a non-mahram is going to be able to stay there without the wife having to cover up, then we allow such thing to happen. That's a concession.
If your friend come to your house and you want him to stay with your wife, you command your wife to give her breast to him, to suckle him 10 different times in 10 different occasions until he's satisfied, and this is okay for Islam?
I mean, God allowed us to have such things.
What's wrong with your God? I thought you Muslims, women have to be covered, but now the women, she have to give. And don't you think that the man, when he starts sucking your wife boobs, he will go so hot and horny? Do you think this is right?
I mean, listen, God allowed us to do such things, so I don't see the problem with.
Okay, my friend, God allow you to do that, but that is wrong because the man will get horny. I mean, your wife, she is beautiful. The guy is a man. He is a stranger. He sit in your wife's lap. He starts sucking her nipples. And in order to suck her nipples, he have to see them. He have to grab them. And you are saying to me, God allowed us. What kind of religion this religion is? What for?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, God has allowed us.
How you are saying thanks to Allah? So now your neighbor sucking your wife boobs and you say to Allah, thank you? The neighbor will say that, not you. The neighbor will never allow you to suck his wife boobs, but the neighbor will say, thank you Allah for this rule. I'm going to visit every Muslim from tomorrow.
But what's wrong with this? How does this prove the
Why you are
religion to
laughing?
be
Respect your religion, my
incorrect?
friend. Respect your religion, please. Don't make fun. Why
No,
you are
you're-
laughing? Please, you are hurting my feeling now. Listen, I am hungry. So what is this? What kind of? By the way, according to your religion, if a man he suck your wife boobs, still he can have sex with her. Okay, let me ask you: if a man he suck your wife boobs, is she forbidden for him now?
Yeah, if he suckles from her boobs, of course.
False.
Yes, of course, because that's the ruling.
You want to challenge me?
Challenge you about what exactly?
Well, he will not become forbidden for her.
No, he becomes forbidden for her.
No.
Just like how.
No.
Yes,
You
no.
know. Okay. Well, here we go. I will go to the Muslim website, the highest scholars of Islam, and we will see the ruling.
If he suckles to the point where he like enough suckles, then yes, he becomes forbidden for her.
No, that's not true.
But why
Still,
not? Okay, prove
still
it.
he can marry her. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Then you speak Arabic, so you have no excuse.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I should make you an admin here.
I would like to apply for that.
All right. I will put it for you in the text. You can open the link from your side. This is the fatwa. I will put it in the chat. I will show it in Ramble at the same time, and I will use Google Translation. But for you, you do not need Google Translation. You speak Arabic. Question.
Yeah, I don't need the translation.
Okay. Question. Do breastfeeding for adult forbid? The answer: no.
I'm sorry. So you're saying that the breastfeeding for adults, right? Yeah, it makes one a mahram.
No,
So if
does
you
not.
breastfeed
It does
from a
not.
woman,
It's in
you
front of
become
you. Breast. Look at the title. This is the title.
I don't
Breastfeeding
see anything.
adult. Huh?
Do you guys see anything?
No,
don't see
I
anything.
just posted the link for you in the chat. I posted the link.
Okay, hold on. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, and I use Google Translation for those who do not know Arabic. You can open it in Google browser, and you can translate in your Google. The title of the fatwa. This is an Islamic fatwa, and this is the fatwa number in front of you. Breastfeeding an adult will not forbid, which will not make you mahram. So you are fooling yourself again. But there's no point of this. So now your wife, she gave her boobs to the neighbor. Still, he can sleep with her. He can marry her. So what you did actually, you invited the bear to your house.
Yeah. Okay. Let's say that it doesn't actually.
So
make
what the
someone
point?
a
So what the
mahram.
point? You said to me, Allah allowed it. What the
It
point?
allows him to enter the house without her having to cover up.
But she is okay. But he is allowed to have sex with her now, so she is not covered up.
Yeah, but he's allowed to enter her house without her having to cover up.
Exactly. But now that to make it more horrible, because now she is not covered, and he is allowed to enter the house anytime, even if the husband is not there. And now you are thinking that this is okay.
No problem. No problem. How does this disprove my religion?
Well, this will prove that this. I don't want to be rude to you, but this is a pervert action, because who is the man who accepts his wife to give her? Who is the man? Who is my friend? Who is the man? I'm not going to tell you what I will do if I see my man having her boobs in somebody else's mouth. But what kind of a man? He encouraged his wife. If you go inside the house, he found his wife hugging somebody in her lap. He is sitting there. What he is doing in your lap? Oh, honey, I'm doing breastfeeding for adult. And you are saying to me, what's wrong with that? If there's no benefit, I just showed you that this will not forbid the man from having sex with your wife. So what was the point?
Yeah, how does this disprove Islam, to be honest? I just
because Islam is teaching fornication. Because this is a form of fornication. You are doing
some form of fornication.
It is, Because when the man, okay, you see, you Muslim, you're a prophet. He says, if a man, the man, he commits sin by his eyes, by his tongue, by his mouth, by his hands, correct? Okay, now his mouth is in her nipples, his head is in her chest, and you are telling me how that is a form of fornication?
Yeah, I don't see how this disproves that.
What do you mean how that is? I just told you, your prophet said, a human being, he do fornication by his eyes, by his hand, by his lips,
yeah, but he
by
gave an
his
exception
feet.
in this case. He gave an exception in this case.
And
So
this
it
is
doesn't
what, and this is what deception. What exception? So now your wife, she is giving her boobs to a stranger.
Yeah, there is an exception when she's given when there is adult breastfeeding, then this is an exception and it doesn't count as fornication. So there's no contradiction.
This is an exceptional fornication.
No, it's not exceptional fornication. It's simply an exceptional case. It doesn't count.
What
as
exceptional
fornication.
case? Your wife, she is giving her boobs to a stranger now.
Yeah, it's not fornication. It's simply an exceptional case.
Okay,
So it doesn't
so
count.
if you come back home and you find a man in the lap of your wife, do she need your permission to do it? She don't, because you just said it's okay. So now you come back home, you find a neighbor or the driver or the bus driver or anybody, the cable guy, he is sucking your wife's breast, and you cannot talk, you cannot say why, because simply this is an exception, right? Your wife, she can practice anytime, nothing wrong with it.
How does this logically disprove Islam, though?
Logically, this is mean Islam is invalid, because I thought that
Why?
Islam is about protecting the dignity of the women and the man. If my wife is going to give her breast to everybody, so why the women wear burqa? So why you get upset? Why you Muslim? Okay, so you Muslim consider the hair of the women aura, which means a private part. Is her breast
What?
aura?
In the case that of adult breastfeeding, no, it's not. It's not aura.
How it's not aura? So how the hair
It's
is
not in the case of adult.
how the hair is a aura, and yet
Yeah, because there is an exceptional case here. So
you keep saying it's exceptional. This is a breast.
Yeah, but it's an exceptional case. That's the problem here. It's not a contradiction. It's an exceptional case, so
Okay,
it's not a
isn't it the
contradiction.
Quran? It says, "Yadrubna ala jiyubahun," cover your breast. The Quran says so.
Yeah, but he gives an exception in this case, so it's not contradictory.
Okay, guys, there's an exception here. So the exception is that why Muslim they deleted the verse from the Quran, because it's a shameful thing?
What do you mean? It's not shameful. I still affirm that there is adult breastfeeding.
Okay, can you name for me one of your friends he did that?
Obviously, it's no longer done today, but it
Why?
doesn't mean it exists in our religion.
Why you don't do it today? What's wrong?
I don't know. People, I guess, don't want to do it, but it doesn't mean that it's not in our religion.
Are you open for this option?
I mean, if it's allowed by the Islamic ruler, then I don't see a problem, because it's already allowed in our religion.
Well, Islam is wonderful. I don't know. That's my friend. This is a very. I mean, how I can trust now that the man is okay? If a man he is sucking your wife's breast, how you can guarantee he will not get horny? Don't you think that? Don't you know? I mean, you are a man, right?
Yeah, but the problem here is the Prophet has instructed us to do such things, or allowed us to do such things.
So if it's okay, it's okay if the man is sucking your wife and his private parts start being boing,
The Prophet allowed such things, so I don't see the issue here.
So the Prophet allowed your neighbor to suck your wife's boobs and his private part like boing, bing, bong, like all over the place, and he might even have orgasm.
Giving me a logical argument against Islam. You're just giving me an emotional
Because he have an orgasm now. He will have orgasm. The guy is sucking your wife. He's holding her breast, sucking it, and he will have an orgasm if he did not do it for real. I mean, how he will stop even there? He have her naked now. Her breast is exposed, and now his mouth in her over nipples. His hand is touching them. And you are saying to me, the Prophet, he allowed us with the problem. He will get so horny. He will sleep with her. She will get horny too. How that help? How that help your wife and you as a Muslim? You keep saying to me, how this is make Islam invalid?
Yeah, it doesn't make Islam invalid, as in you didn't give me a logical contradiction or a logical
The logical is this is a fornication. Your wife and your neighbor, they are they are having sex. They have this is sexual. This is sexual.
No. It's not
Yes,
fornication.
he
It's
is not a baby.
fornication.
Is he an infant? No, he is a growing man. So a growing man, he do suck the nipples and the breast of a growing woman. For sure, he will get horny. There's no way he will not.
Yeah, so for it to be a contradiction is if you bring me like this, the exact same ruling being allowed and forbidden at the same time. But here we have an exception, so it doesn't count it as
You see, I just showed you a verse in the Quran that says cover your chest, and you are saying to me, show me
but it's not in this case.
Okay.
It's an exception.
You see, this is a contradiction. The Quran says if this is a book made by other than Allah, you will find in it contradiction, and this contradiction because there's a verse says cover your breast, and there's a verse now says give your breast to others.
What a contradiction is. Let me teach you what a contradiction is. A contradiction is a proposition and its negation being true at the same time in the same respect. Now, when we talk about adult breastfeeding, here we don't have in the same respect because we're talking about an exceptional case and we're talking about a general rule. So when we have takhsis, we have cases where we give an exception to this general rule. It does not mean that we have a contradiction in this case.
That's so
we
deep,
would only
my
have
friend.
a contradiction if there is, if there is no takhsis, yet this is still allowed. But it being allowed automatically means that there is takhsis. This is like how we understand our religion. So you cannot say that
Well,
this is
I
a
don't know.
contradiction.
Hey guys in the chat, who of you thinking now seriously to convert to Islam so we can go together? I invite you, all of you. I'm going to rent a big train, not a bus, and we will go to Muslim countries and we will do Hajj for breastfeeding for adult. Remember, it's for free, and you have to suckle their women breast 10 times. And here we have the gentleman. He said, so what the problem? Muslims are very friendly, open-minded. Their wives and their boobs are open for every man. No problem. By the way, I don't want to be like a Trump making business of this, but I will charge you $10 if you don't mind, because I'm the one who discovered this guy. I have the right, to make a commercial about it. So listen carefully, commercial break. If you like to do suckling for breastfeeding for adult, beautiful women, they are wearing hijab. Then brother, sister, sorry, shut up, sister. What sister? Crazy me. Sorry, guys, this is a gaffe of Joe Biden. Brothers, sorry, Allahu Akbar. You are all invited for breastfeeding of tits, and the tits will be there too, because he will be the one giving you tickets, all right? So this is Islam, and this gentleman here, he says, what is the problem? He don't know what the problem. What is exactly what the problem?
No, I don't see a logical problem here.
You see, a few minutes ago, my friend, you said to me that will make her, she can uncover herself, correct?
Yeah, we have an exceptional case.
All right. And I showed you the proof. You said to me she is forbidden. I said to you, no, she is not forbidden. And now I show you the proof that this will not make her forbidden. Will not make her forbidden.
Exceptional case. It's not a contradiction. It's takhsis.
But hold on, will not make her forbidden from having sex with her. So what the point? What the point of this exception?
No, it does not. No. Here is the false equivalence that you're making here. You're saying that just because there is a risk of them having sex together, this means that it is now allowed for them to have sex together. This is
no. I'm not saying that. I did not say that. I'm not saying it's allowed. I did not say that. Don't.
No, that's literally what you said. You said it's not forbidden.
I said to you, I showed you a proof. I showed you proof. In the beginning, you disagree. You said it's not true. She is now forbidden for him, so he can enter, and she is not covering herself. So now look what happened. Before he do breastfeeding, the woman was covering herself. Before he do breastfeeding, the man is out of the house. After breastfeeding, now he touch and he play with his boob, and he have to do it in 10 different days, in 10 different time until he's satisfied. And now he can enter the house anytime. And now she is not uncovered, which means she sit with him as if she's sitting with her husband. She's wearing shorter clothes, exposing her breast. Already he play with her breast. How that will not invite him for sex?
Yeah, but it doesn't mean that now the sex is now allowed. That's not what it means.
It doesn't.
There is a risk.
You are creating an environment for sex. You just
Yeah, but
you just brought the cable guy. He entered your house. She gave him her breast, and now anytime you enter the house, you find your wife. There's a guy in her lap sucking her breast. You cannot even question what she's doing because she's allowed.
Yeah, so how exactly does this disprove?
All right, my friend.
This is not a logical
I can't stay for long. Thank you very much for calling. It's already middle of the night for me. Feel free to call me tomorrow again or the day after if I go. And thank you for joining us. All right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so let's agree with the terms of the debates before we continue. So do you agree we're going to do 2 minutes each? And we talk about Islam and Christianity.
The topic now is about Islam, not about Christianity. This guy, he left Islam because Islam is bad. And I convinced him. Okay, so now your duty, you are here. You are talking to him, right? Because you want to bring him back to Islam. So you need to show him first that Islam is not what I said to him, and then we can talk about Christianity. So go ahead. I showed him. I showed him as an example the chapter of.
Can I just say something? So he converted to Christianity, right? So if he left Islam for a certain reason and you find the same things within Christianity, that's hypocrisy, right? So he shouldn't be holding on to something that you can find in Christianity too.
No problem. You see, in your Quran says that the Christians and the Jews and the Sabian, they will go to hell. Sorry, to heaven. So if your Quran confirmed that we are going to heaven, who are you to confirm we are not? Isn't it the Quran? Isn't it the Quran says? You are trying to change the topic, aren't you?
What do you mean? I'm saying
because supposedly we are talking about the chapter of sunset. Chapter 2, verse number 61 says it clearly. Those who they are Christians and those who they are Jews and those who Sabian, the worshipper of the stars, they will go to heaven. And the Muslims.
Okay, let's debate about this, no problem.
No, we don't want to debate about it. We can go back. Let us go now to what you agreed before you came here about the sunset. About the sunset. I don't want to waste my friend. I don't have too much time. When we finish with that one, I promise you we go back here. Is that okay? I promise you. Let us finish.
Okay, so I've got
let us finish with the most silly, the most stupid verses in the Quran.
Let us see. Don't be scared. Don't be scared.
I've got maximum. Just do the thing of the.
I've got maximum 1 hour. Let's do 2 minutes each. You bring your claim, and I reply to the claim.
I will give you 5 minutes. I will give you 5 minutes. Start with the sunset.
No, you're a liar.
5 minutes. 5 minutes for you. I promise. I promise this gentleman here, Kay. If you come here, we will talk about the sunset and murky water. And I said to him, I will give you 5 minutes. I will give you 5 minutes, not 2 minutes. 3 minutes for me. So almost you are twice of me. Okay. So now the sunset and murky water. Explain to us what's happening. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start my 2 minutes now. Let me put the timer on.
You want 10 minutes? You don't want 5?
No, 2 minutes fine. No problem.
Okay, no problem.
So you're talking about the murky water. Okay, so it's talking about he found it. Wajada. So he found it there. So when he went there, he seen it visually. So when we use the words like sunset, does the sun actually set, or is it visually we can observe it? So likewise, when sun rising, sun setting, this is something that visually that person can see. So when he went there, he seen the sun setting in the murky water. So that's what he found it. That's his observation. Simple. So there's no problem with it.
Are you done?
Next. Yes, alhamdulillah. Finished.
Can I say something to that?
Hold on, Kay. Listen, please. Listen carefully. You said this is observation. The person, in fact, he is not talking. It was Allah. And when you say he found it, it doesn't mean he thought. It doesn't mean this is what Allah is informing us what happened to him. If you read carefully, you said his observation, and I will give you the mic back. What he saw exactly to make him think that the sun going down in a muddy, hot, boiling water. The mic is yours. What he saw exactly. Describe for us.
Okay, it says it there very clearly. It says the setting of the sun, he found it setting in a spring of dark mud, and he found the people near it. So who's finding it? Allah not saying, Allah's not describing the cosmos like this is the reality, this is what's happening every day. He's not describing. He's saying that he reached a certain place, then he found the sun setting in the spring of dark mud.
Where
He found it.
where the sun he found it sitting in a muddy water? Where is that?
We don't need to know where. It's not a requirement.
No,
for us to know
where if we go in earth, me and you, we can
Yeah.
see such an observation. Like if I know, if I go to that place, where is going to be appearing to me that the sun going in muddy water? Can you tell me?
Yeah, there are certain places I can find the exact place, but I don't think that makes any.
You know, we make, because if nobody can find such a place where a human being can think for a second that the sun is sitting in the murky water, obviously this is a find nobody found except him, and Allah reporting to us something nobody found. And this is why when the Jews came to Muhammad, they asked him, tell us about Zulqarnain. Muhammad, he came back to them telling them, Allah told me to tell you this, which nobody knows. So now, surprise, surprise, look what I gave to you. I gave you the story of Zulqarnain. And now he found the sun sitting not only in a muddy water, it's a boiling water, and it is a spring of water. The mic is yours.
Okay, no problem. I'll find you, inshallah, a link where it explains where takes place in the murky water.
My friend, don't explain to me in a link. You are here. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm saying I'm going to find a reference exactly what place it's going to be.
Ah, okay. There's a place on the earth where if you go there, you will see the sun going in a muddy water.
Yeah, you'll observe it with your eyes.
Where we
You'll
can
see it.
okay, guys, there is a place. There's a place. If anyone go there, he will see the sun going in a muddy boiling water, and it's a spring of water. Where is that place?
Have you never been to a seaside and you've seen the sun setting?
I like what you just said, guys. Did you see what he said? He said the seaside. Well, why the Quran says a spring? Is the seaside is a spring? So now, according to your God, the sea is a spring, and according to you, Zulqarnain, he went to a spring of water, but this fool, he thought the spring is a sea, and Allah, because he's smart, he agreed with him that this is a spring, not a sea. So how Zulqarnain can see the sun going in a spring of water? So you Muslim, you try to duct tape, so suddenly now the spring became sea, and the muddy boiling water, it's all, we can see it everywhere. Where? It's a spring, it is muddy, it's boiling, it is a water. Where we can find such a thing?
Okay, again, I'm saying to you, he visually observed it, so he's seen it.
Visually where, my friend? Visually where? In order to say visually observe it, you need to tell me where it can happen, where we can find somebody can see the sun going in a spring. Do you know what spring mean? It's a small body of water. It's not even a river. It's a spring. This spring have to be muddy, have to be boiling, and you have to see in your observation the sun going there. How in the world that happened? Go ahead. You keep saying to me, this is what he saw his observation. Okay, where? How we can? This is impossible, because there is no way I will see the sun. Imagine I have a spring of water in front of me, 50 meters away, 100 meters away, 1,000 meters away. How I will see the sun going in such a muddy spring? Go ahead.
Yeah, I said to you, wait, and I'll find you a reference.
Reference. Okay.
Where they have mentioned that there's a murky water where the sun sets.
Can I add something? Go.
I thought you already, you want to find reference?
Bro, I didn't know what topic you're going to bring up. You bring your random topics up.
No, he told you, didn't you tell him, okay?
Yeah, I told him.
You see, he told you, why you are lying? He told you we speak about the sunset.
He didn't tell me that you're going to bring the sun setting in the murky water. He didn't tell me that specifically.
So what we talk about the Qur'an, that he have two horns? Okay, so now give me the reference. Go ahead.
Okay, wait about 2-3 minutes, I'll find it.
Yeah. You remind me of the Quran where Allah, he says, they ask Muhammad, why you don't have miracle? Allah said to them, wait, and I'm waiting with you. Allah is waiting too.
Prince, can I say something about this
Go
verse?
ahead.
It's not even that. It's just physically impossible, because if you read 86, until when he reached the setting of the sun, when when the Quran says reach, it means walk towards, not you can't interpret it as time. Like I look at the setting of the sun,
Right.
like it's
Right.
it's like a Maghreb. He physically reached that place, and when it's impossible to physically reach a place in which the sun literally, how do I say this? The sun sets, because the earth is round in itself. Even if you go at any certain distance, it's not going to change the way the portrait, like the sun goes. It's not going to change the movement of the sun.
Yeah. And it's clear it's a place. It is clear that Allah reporting a find, not an appearance. You see, the Muslim, they add words to the Quran. Obviously the Quran language is a stupid language. Otherwise, why I want to add words is not there to fix it. Imagine if this is really what happened. If this is really I mean, there is really sun goes in a murky water. The Muslim, they will not change the word. They will say, yes, here we go, Allahu Akbar. How Allah, he knew this. How Prophet Muhammad knew this. But now, because it's silly and stupid, they are trying to duct tape. And now what he will give me? A link? A Photoshop of a lake? You will die laughing if you do that. I'm waiting for his reference.
Can I add something? I know this is off a little bit, but by the way, when you describe something, when mud is described as a sediment, it's classified as a sediment rock. It's mostly contained of solid particles. So like there's really not much evidence that shows like mud, and like as you said, like a spring, there's mud in it. You know?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Listen, guys, Mr. What's his name? This appear. He just gave us an article about natural gas and oil. He forgot that his Quran says this is water. And Zulqarnain, he did not go in the water. He was walking and he found near it people living there. Did he find people living in the top of the water? Near it? He's talking about tar. Look at the Muslims. I mean, look at the amazing. Guys, look at this. This is the link he posted.
Okay.
What are natural oil seeps? First of all, let me go with you. Are you there? Disappear? Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to listen to you. What about this? Tell me. Go ahead.
Okay, so the link I sent, and there's actually more links than that. They explain that within the waters, right, there's this oil has been leaking for thousands of years. There's an oil leak and a leak, and it looks like murky water. So this is what the links have been describing. So this one area can be found in California, for example. There's 25 tons of oil each day for the last several 100,000 years. This oil has been leaking there.
Are you done?
Yeah. So this proves. You're asking me where is this murky water? This proves that this murky water can be found in certain
I
areas.
did not ask you where is the murky water. I said to you where we can find the sun sitting in a spring and it is boiling. Is that oil boiling? It says Hamia.
Can the sun not heat up the water?
What?
In a hot weather, can the sun not heat up the water?
The sun heat the water. Well, that would heat the whole ocean then. The whole ocean must be boiling. In Arabic it says Hamia. Do you know what Hamia mean?
A spring, yeah, like you mentioned.
Hamia mean spring?
Hamia, let me check.
Huh? Let me check. This is a believer. He do not know what his Quran saying. Hamia, let me check.
Sediments, they're classified as sediment. So they mostly contain solids. They can't boil unless they have water in them.
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Hamia. What Hamia mean?
I'll check 1 second. I'll check the dictionary.
You can call Christian Prince if you want.
If it's
You
not
didn't
different.
know.
If the water was boiling in the first place because of the sun, then life on Earth would all go extinct.
Thank you. Thank you. I do not need to refute the guy. I should go. We have K and we have the Assyrian. So guys, bye-bye. I mean, look how silly their argument is. This is the most stupid book ever.
Dark mode.
Huh?
Amiya is dark mode. Dark mode. That's
Is
the
what?
appearance.
Is what?
It's a dark kind of spring.
Dark? Hamiya mean dark?
Yeah, it says dark mode. I'm looking at the dictionary right now.
Dark mode? The dictionary says to you Hamiya mean dark mode? What dictionary is that? What dictionary is that? Give me the name.
This Quran corpus, for example, they
My
have
friend,
highlighted
just to show you that the one who says that to you is an idiot. Hamiya mean blazing hot, not only boiling. Here we go. This is a word used in the Quran. Hamiya. Read with me. Do you see it? Tasla naran hamiya. Naran hamiya. This is the word used for describing hell. What?
Yeah, but that's
Madi?
talking about the hell.
Yes, this is about hell. Hamiya describe hell. Blazing fire, blazing hot. So, and not only that, your prophet himself, just to get you busted more, your prophet, he described the verse in the very authentic chain of hadith. He said the following, and this is your Muslim website. Why Muslims they lie? Because Islam without lies dies. Can you read for me the hadith in the screen, please?
The hadith is weak.
It's weak. He did not even read it yet.
Yeah, I already know. I already know the one that you.
No, it is not. Here we go. It says Sahih in chain Al-Albani, and this is Sunan Ibn Dawood, Abi Dawood, which means it's authentic book.
Okay, let me bust you. Let me bust you one second.
Listen.
Do you know the difference?
Okay, hold on. Just wait. Does it say? Hold on. You see, this is why I block people always, because they act like kids. So here it says. Listen. This is your website. Forget about the hadith now. This is your website translation saying, spring of warm water, Hamiya. Does it say spring? The word muddy, my friend. It is different word. You Muslims are ignorant. You Muslims are ignorant, and you've been lied to. And you go if you
Why
go.
are you running away to the verse? Why are you running away to the verse? Let me respond.
Go ahead.
Okay, so I thought you were gonna stick to the rules. 2 minutes each. Well, I put 5 minutes. I thought you were gonna give me. You're not even giving me.
It's you. I gave you 5 minutes. You said 2 minutes only enough, and then you intervene with me too. I told you answer right away. Go ahead. So what the problem? Don't cry.
Okay, so firstly, it says Sahih in chain. Do you know the difference between Sahih in matan and chain? There's a distinction.
A person who do not know. A person who do not know. Okay, but you are a person who do not know what the word mean. Suddenly now you are expert with Sahih in chain. Okay, tell me what Sahih in chain mean.
Oh, that means I learned something. Certain things I know. I have knowledge on certain things. I don't have knowledge on certain things. I can check it. There's no problem with that. Likewise, you are also ignorant on many things. You also have knowledge on a lot of things. So
okay.
There's no problem with that. Okay, so this Sahih in a matan means that, okay, we have to determine whether this aligns with the Quran or not. And if it goes against the Quran, if it goes against observations that we can see, then we know it's not reliable. So we check the chain, the transmission, how it's been transmitted. We also check the matan as well. This contradicts with another hadith. That's why some scholars have rejected it, and also one of the narrator in the chain as well.
Okay, you already done?
Yep.
Let me repeat what you said. They're contradicting with the Quran. Okay, what is contradicting with the Quran? The Quran said the sun set in a muddy. Hold on, don't talk. You see, you complain when I talk. You complain when I talk. Okay, listen. So, you said this is contradicting with the Quran. Where is the contradiction with the Quran? The Quran just said that the sun set in the same exact word. Muhammad is using the same exact word. How in the word this is contradict the Quran? Go ahead.
Okay, so why are you mocking for? I didn't mock you. If you're gonna mock, then I can mock you as well.
I'm not mocking you. I just gave you the answer. You said, because you are speaking fast in order for us to not understand. That's why you said contradict with the Quran. Why you don't say contradict with the Quran and show us the reference? You throw stones, but you don't have a proof of it. Show everybody now how this hadith contradict the Quran. The mic is yours.
I was talking about the matan. The matan can go against the Quran, then we reject it.
How is
So
the
in this
matan,
particular-
my friend? The matan is what is in the hadith. The matan is what is in the hadith. Okay, now show me how that go against the Quran. Go ahead.
In this particular case, it goes against a different hadith. The one that talks about.
You said it goes against the Quran first, and then you mention hadith. We will go to the hadith after. Show us how this hadith goes against the Quran.
No, this one doesn't go against the Quran.
So it's total agreement with the Quran.
It's
Thank you
total
very
against
much.
the Quran.
So totally agree with the Quran. So now look what you did. You said,
this one goes against the
hold on, guys. He said, if a hadith, and this is what the Muslims say, if a hadith against the Quran, we don't take it. So now he is taking the hadith, the other one, which contradict the Quran, the one he did not show us yet, and he did not accept the hadith, which is comply and agree with the Quran. Do you see how they change the rules? They are very flexible. So if he first, when you spoke, you said this hadith contradict the Quran. Now when I force you to show me where, it says no, it does not. Right? Now your prophet is the one the best to explain what the Quran is saying, not you. And when we say sahih in chain, it doesn't say da'if, it does not reject it. It's in your book, it's approved. In the top of that, do the Quran teach that the sun goes every day? Yes or no? Go down.
One second, I'm gonna bring a narrator that's actually weak within this chain. Just give me 1 second.
We know that anything will make Muhammad look like a fool. You know, they will say it's weak. They will, duct tape religion. That's what you just said. But now, as long as it's agree with the Quran, how that can be weak? That would be horrible. That means the Quran is weak.
It doesn't agree with the Quran.
You said that. Everybody heard you. You said this hadith does not contradict the Quran. You said that already. Guys, did he say, hey Kay, did he say that this hadith does not contradict the Quran? Did he say that? You said that. Are you going to bite your tongue?
1 second, I'm finding the narrator. The narrator that's weak in this chain.
Abu Dharr is narrator, he's the companion of the Prophet. Do you need to invite a sheikh?
No, I don't need to.
Oh, okay. I'm just worried about your health. Do you need my help? I can give you the other hadith if you want. Just let me know. I can find you anything you want.
So yeah, it says here, Sufyan bin Hussein, he's the one who's been criticized by some scholars, and it says Muhammad ibn Sa'ad said he was reliable, but he made many mistakes in his narration. So this is one of the reasons
he is reliable, but he made many mistakes.
Now let's talk about the Bible. Why does it say?
No, don't change topic. We did not finish yet. You see, here we go. He's trying to escape. You promised. We finish this, and then we can go and talk about the Christians going to heaven. You forgot? You forgot not the Bible yet. Listen.
1 second.
Hold on.
1 second. Why did you say you're gonna kick me out then? If that was the case, then you said you're gonna kick me out a few minutes ago.
I said if you promise you will. I told Kay he promised he will not change the topic. He will not jump like a monkey from a place to place. Are we done? We are not.
Okay, so
now listen. Do you agree? Listen. The sun in the Quran, in the observation of Zulqarnain. Just wait, we can't talk in the same time. Come on.
One second. I said I only have 1 hour, so it's been almost half an hour.
I don't care. We promised we will not change the topic. You are a potato.
You said 30 minutes each. Okay.
No, we said we did not even speak for 30 minutes. Did we finish the topic? Did we finish? We can't talk about the Bible. Let us. Are you ashamed of your Quran? Is because it's so stupid? Now let us finish this. Let us finish this, Mr. Bible. Listen. You are a potato. You are trying to escape. You are ashamed. So now, does the Quran teach that the sun goes every day down physically? Yes or no? Yes or no?
When are you going to debate my topic? When are you going to debate my topic, Christianity?
I debate Christianity every day. Every day.
You, when do you want to debate? I only have 1 hour, and it's been half an hour.
We finish this topic. We have nothing. I will stay with you until tomorrow. Here we go. Let us finish this one. Let us finish this one. Let us finish this one. Can we?
In 5 minutes?
What 5 minutes? Why 5 minutes? Are you like you need to go?
Because, yes, I told you I only have 1 hour, and we do half an hour.
You have 1 hour? Okay, listen.
Yes.
In front of everybody, we finish this topic, and we will do it as fast as we can, and then you can give me the question about the Bible. Is that fair?
No, not really, because I spent half an hour on your topic.
So, do you agree with me now? Either you agree that the Quran is a fairy tale book, and your prophet explained the verse that the sun set down, or we have to give more proofs to prove my point. We are not done. Do you agree with me that the sun set down down physically every day according to Muhammad? Yes or no?
Physically?
Physically, yes.
No, it doesn't. I just told you the narrator. One of these narrators is weak. So.
Okay. Can you said to me there's other hadith contradict this hadith? Can you show it to me?
Yeah, that claim is not necessary right now.
No, it's necessary. It's necessary. No, I insist. I insist. No, I insist. Please. No, please. I insist. No, please. Why you wanted to give me the hadith contradict this hadith? Everybody heard you saying. You said in your rebuttal to me. You said, and there is a hadith contradict this hadith. Put it in the screen and let us laugh. Go ahead.
I'm saying to you, I refuted you on this hadith.
No, you did not. You did not. You said in your refutation there's a hadith. You said, listen, you said, and it's recorded, you said about this hadith, you said, and there is a hadith contradict this hadith. I want to put it in the screen so people will die laughing at you. Do you know why you don't want to give it to me? Because the hadith confirm what I am saying. So you thought you can escape the first horrible hadith? But now you are in the corner because the second hadith will make Muhammad look like a fool. Okay, otherwise give me the hadith. Go ahead.
Why you drama?
Give me the hadith. I will not continue with you unless you keep your promise. You said there's a hadith contradict this hadith. So it's you know, when you are refuting somebody, he will ask you, okay, give me the hadith. I mean, it's you who said that, not me. It's you who presented that story to me. Give me the hadith. Why you don't want to give it? If there's something fishy about it?
No problem, I'll give you the hadith. No problem.
Okay.
So the hadith talks about the sun prostrating to Allah, and that hadith is more reliable. So that's why.
Thank you very much. Okay, what is the hadith? Is it the one I will put in the screen in a second, or do you want to give me a different one?
There's only one which mentions this. Well, I mean, there's many, but it's the same.
There's okay. There's the same. Okay, that's good. And do you agree with this hadith? So remember, he agreed with this hadith, correct? He agreed with this hadith. Do you agree with it?
I agree with it.
You agree?
Yes. I know your arguments already.
All right.
The arguments for
all right, guys, he agreed with it. So according to this hadith,
I've already debated you, by the way, in the past.
According to the hadith, the sun go down physically every day. Yes or no?
The sun goes where?
Go down physically every day.
Yeah, we don't know the reality of this. When Allah
no, what do you mean we do not know the reality? You said you agree with the hadith, and that this is the hadith you yourself you presented to us, right? So does the sun, how many times I need to appear there to ask the same question? Lose my voice. according to the hadith you want us to read, is it true the sun goes down physically every day at the sunset time? Yes or no?
No, from what we observe, it stays in orbit, right?
You keep saying observe, so your prophet was lying. What observe? You see guys, the hypocrisy of this religion. What observe? I'm asking you, according, listen, what observe? Why you keep saying observe? What observe? Did your prophet saying from his observation, or he said this is where it goes?
Why are you not letting me finish? So Allah describes everything around us. They prostrate. For example, the trees prostrating. We don't see the trees prostrating with our own eyes, or like the things around us. We don't see them worshipping or prostrating. But in this case, the reality of it is not known to us. Very simple.
The reality of it. Okay, let us see. Hold on. You see, you Muslims, you are now. It is not really what he meant. It is no. He was talking. Do you know where the sun goes? Do you know where the sun goes? Abu Dharr, he said, well, I don't know. Allah and His messengers knows best. Your prophet, he continues saying, the sun goes every day and sit under the throne of Allah, above the water, in the water, and then ask for permission. And this is interpretation for chapter 36, verse number 38. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي لِمُسْتَقَرٍ لَهَا. Do you see it? The sun runs to into fixed decree. So this is not an observation. This is how the sun moves every day. And the hadith in the front, if you can, you read it.
Yeah, I've already read it before. It's not something new.
So why you are saying this is from our observation?
No, I know what you're talking about. I'm saying the sun, it doesn't go from our observation, but like the reality of it, how it goes, how does it go to prostrate to Allah? We don't know.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Your prophet, he was seeing the sun. Abu Dharr is behind him. This is the sunset time. So he is saying, do you know where the sun goes? Talking about what? The sun now is going. This is not about giving you a speech about the sun. Now the sun is going. It's a sunset time. He said Allah and His apostle know best, which means this knowledge coming from Allah. He said it goes prostrate under the throne of Allah. And then Allah, and this is Allah's statement, the sun runs into fixed course. In different hadith, which is authentic too, and don't tell me now this is weak, this is Bukhari. It says clearly that it asks for permission to come back every day. Your prophet claiming that the sun going every day from the east to the west, sleep under Allah's throne physically, and ask permission to rise, and Allah will grant the sun permission until one day He did not, and He asked the sun to appear from the west.
Okay, so
and this is interpretation for the Quran, chapter 36, verse number 38, and this is Al-Bukhari. The mic is yours.
Okay, so you said we went physically. The hadith doesn't mention physically, firstly. Secondly, you said prostrate, right?
Secondly, just get lost. See, this is why I block people, because I have no patience for liars like you. Guys, if there's a point to continue with this guy, you tell me. Let us vote. This is not physically now. The sun will appear from the west when Allah give it no permission no more. This is not physically. Who is the one who's moving? It is the sun. And they say to you, he block us. Will I lose my patience with those people? This is not physically. If this is not physically, what is physically mean? Listen, Abdul. Where it says that this is not physically, I will give you the microphone. Where you are saying why you are fabricating things, the sun goes every day, i.e. travel. Do you see it? I.e. travel.
You're a liar.
Does it say travel? Does it say travel? Does travel? Yes or no? Does it say travel? Does it say travel? Yes or no?
That's in the brackets.
So the Muslims are lying too.
Translation can be wrong. What's the problem? Your Bible has.
Just get out of here, man. I have no time for kids. Let your dad talk to me.